yourself, or do you intend to make this difficult?" he asked in a low, disguised growl. A negative noise came from beneath the desk. It was either a young boy or a woman. Felix hesitated. No spy worth their salt would wear perfume. He had the papers he needed. Should he risk his own exposure? He knelt down, but in the dark could not see the face of the figure who huddled beneath the furniture. "Why are you in here? Are you in trouble?"
"Why I am in here is my own concern, and I am perfectly well, thank you," a female said in a well-bred Spanish accent.
Felix relaxed. She was doubtless an unlikely traitor. "I will leave you to your assignation then, ma'am. I'm sure neither of us wishes to be revealed."
"I should ask you why you are here,"
she said, seemingly as an afterthought. "As you say, it is none of your concern." Felix should have already been done and gone, but there was something drawing him to this person. Dallying was the ruin of any good spy. "Adios," he said, standing up and leaving via the balcony as he had come. He hesitated to return to the ballroom immediately, wondering if his mystery lady would also escape that way, but he had already been gone too long. He straightened his coat and slipped back in through the terrace doors towards the wall. Taking a drink from the tray as one of the footmen passed, he then joined Captain Everley and some other British soldiers. One would not guess, by looking at the glamorous picture before them, that they were in the midst of conflict. It was one of the great ironies of war. He repressed a sigh, disliking the idea of dining and dancing while common soldiers barely had enough food to eat and slept out of doors in the harshest conditions. Felix gave Everley a quick signal to indicate he had found something. All attention, it seemed, was drawn to the other side of the room. "The Lady Catalina has just arrived," Everley said by way of explanation. "Therefore I was not missed," Felix replied dryly. "Not by any of the men," Everley agreed, as they both watched the horde of men surround the beauty. She was the daughter of General Mendoza, one of the most powerful men in the Spanish army. Many said she was his greatest weapon. Men would kill for just a dance with her. Felix had never thought any woman worth violence, and had often said so. The world was full of beautiful women. In fact, this ballroom alone held several. It was more than the physical attributes of a woman that attracted him. Irrespective of his own thoughts on the matter, the sea of uniforms parted like the Red Sea for her to enter, as though she were the great man himself. Felix liked to see what all the fuss was about. It took him a moment to find her. Once he had, he took full advantage of being able to examine freely from afar. A beauty, to be sure, he mused, but there was definitely something more, something unique about her. She was petite, yet perfectly proportioned, with ebony hair and skin as fair as snow. There was a radiance about her that made her shine, and everyone around her seemed dull. She would be very, very dangerous. He watched as she smiled and charmed her way through the crowd of gentlemen surrounding her. Felix hardened himself against her. Women were an unnecessary distraction in this business, and had led many a better man than he to his death. How had she been so careless? She had almost been caught. Strictly speaking, she had been caught, but for reasons she could not fathom, the man had chosen not to reveal her presence or seek her identity. As soon as he left through the window, she scrambled out from under the desk and ran down to the ballroom. It was imperative that she should be there before him, whoever he was. She stopped before the glass in the hall to shake out her dress and make certain everything was in its proper place. Her heart rate and ragged breath, she reflected, might never return to normal after that scare. Outwardly, she seemed the picture of maidenly innocence. She had chosen a light silver gown with no frills, only a delicate overdress of fine lace. Even in the candlelight, her black hair shone in stark contrast to her porcelain skin. She looked everything that was proper. She tucked one loose curl behind her ear and paused to still her breathing and put on her best society mask. If anyone knew what she was really like, they would laugh themselves silly. This character she assumed was not the real Catalina Mendoza y Elizondo. If only they knew she preferred to be at home, alone with her dog and horse, not following the drum or playing the society lady. She wanted nothing to do with any of these men who made themselves foolish over her. Her father was waiting for her when she came down the stairs. "What took you so long?" he asked her. "Complications," she answered blithely. "You look perfect now. Let us go. We are later than usual." They always arrived late to make a grand entrance. That was quite acceptable to Catalina. The less time she had to spend pretending to enjoy the attentions of men, the better. They entered the ballroom and were announced. Immediately, she was surrounded by gentlemen and officers, and her